I don't have any friends. Isn't that funny? Ha ha ha. Let's all laugh at the guy who feels lonely because he doesn't have anybody to hang out with. No, guys, I'm just kidding. Let's get serious here. I want to talk about loneliness right now and having no friends. And I kind of sat down and I said, okay, what do I talk about this subject? Because this is a very important subject, I think, in society. The reality is that uh, human relationships, social connections are like essential for us mentally in order to feel good in life. And it seems like in a world full of technology, with social media, it seems like we should be able to be more connected than what we've ever been throughout history. But, perhaps people aren't even using technology in a way to connect with others. It just seems like in today's world, genuine connections and relationships are very hard to find. So a lot of people are lonely. So I wanted to talk about just the idea that loneliness is extremely common. And I know that it's common. You want to know how I know that loneliness is a very common thing? Well, first of all, let's start with this. Several years ago, I decided to upload a video on the channel where I talked about how I felt lonely and how, I didn't have any friends. And I was very surprised to see the number of people who ended up watching that video. My view count went up on that video, and today it is the most popular video on this channel that I've ever uploaded. And that's crazy to think that the most popular video that I have is one where people feel lonely. So that gave me some insight into the idea that loneliness is common. And I think that there's some statistics out there as far as, I don't know about every country, but I know in the US, like 40% of people have said that they've felt loneliness or whatever. Or I don't know exactly what the real number is. Maybe I shouldn't be using statistics. But I just wanted to give you guys some idea that, like, if you feel like you can't relate to other people, or if you feel like you don't have the relationships that you want out of life, if you don't have friends, I want you to know that that is not something that you are going through by yourself, right? I mean, like, you like feel like you're alone because, I mean, that is what loneliness is. And technically, yes, you have to deal with the emotions by yourself, but you're not the only one with that situation. And I also know that it's common because it's something that people joke about. That's why I started this video by kind of laughing at myself. Ha ha ha, I'm lonely. You know why I say that? Because that's actually something that people do. People sort of make this nervous laughter almost about their own sadness because they don't have friends, their own loneliness. Like because it's a common thing for other people to say. People will just randomly bring it up in conversations like, oh, tell your friends about this or that thing, or like, hey, this is a really cool thing. Next time you see your friends, you should tell them about it. And then there's always this like response from people who have no friends when somebody says something like that, utters the phrase, tell your friends, or hey, next time you see your friends, is like almost a natural instinct to just be like, I actually don't have any friends, so I can't go tell my friends about this new cool thing, the movie business out there. Like, I can't go tell them because I don't have any. And it's like it's a thing where it's like for some people it's easier to just make light of the situation. It's easier to do that than it is to admit that it really hurts emotionally. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this because I'm somebody who feels like I feel a lot of loneliness in my life, not because I don't have people around me that I can talk to, but because I don't actually have friends. Like, I have family, I have a girlfriend, and like that doesn't really make me lonely. Okay, but loneliness can come from a number of things. Loneliness comes from the feeling that you can't be yourself around people, the feeling that you can't truly connect with people, right? Because we have all sorts of relationships with others, but sometimes they're superficial. And so even if you are with somebody, even if you have family or whatever, like it can feel like you just aren't actually able to connect with people, and that's what the real issue is. I think that loneliness is a silent killer in society. Depression gets a lot of attention in the mental health conversation, but I think that loneliness is like something that contributes enormously to depression, and perhaps it's something that we need to focus on more. Is how can we connect with other people? How can we reach out to people who are lonely and help them? Even if you're a lonely person, you can still find some other lonely person and try to be their friend or connect with them or let them know that they're okay, you know. And it's something that we have to do as a whole, as a collective community, is be there for others and try to relate and connect to them. I feel like a lot of times people feel lonely because they feel like nobody else is like me. Like they're not gonna get me. I'm just different. You know, I have different interests. I have a different, unique personality, so I'm never gonna get along with anybody. And I think that is the furthest thing from the truth. I honestly believe that, you know, that is something that we have to overcome, is feeling like we're special and unique, and like, don't isolate yourself because you feel like you're not ever going to be understood by people. The reality is that human beings, as much as we have these small differences in our personality and specific interests, I think that overall human beings go through very similar things. We find the similar things that are funny. Like, yes, you can have different taste in humor, but like, people find the same things funny. People go through the same range of emotions, you know, things that we get excited about, things that we're disgusted by. I mean, things that we love, things that we get angry at, things that make us sad. Like, I don't understand the idea that like it's impossible to connect with people, because it feels like if you put any two random people in a room together, like, they might not be best friends, but they can connect. In fact, even if you have a major age difference between you and another person, or even if you come from different cultural backgrounds, like, aren't the differences between people something that you can connect over, that you can bond over by learning about somebody else? So the idea that we're so different from others that we can't connect, it just seems bizarre to me. And it's fascinating, because I truly do think that if you put two lonely people in a room together, like, it shouldn't be difficult. You know, it shouldn't be difficult for them to make friends with each other, or at least to connect. You know what I think? I think the number one reason why people are lonely in the modern age of society is just because of a lack of socialization. And this is my problem, I think. When I was a kid, I never socialized. I never learned how to socialize. And because I never learned, now that I'm an adult, I just cannot really go out there and make friends. Also, just as a side note, making friends as an adult is extremely difficult because people are busy, and you know, like, what are you supposed to do, you know? So I've kind of given up on making friends, if I'm being honest with you. And that's fine. Some people are okay with it, but my whole point here is that if you feel like the loneliness that you're experiencing is something that is like something that you're going through that nobody else will understand, the reality is that most likely a lot of people are gonna get it. You're a lonely person living in a world full of lonely people. That's something that I've never said before. I've never even had that thought before. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like a genius right now for saying it. You're a lonely person in a world full of lonely people. How does that make sense? Just thinking about it, like, why can't lonely people just kind of get together and be friends with each other? You know, it's an idealistic view. Maybe it's a dream I have of helping people connect with not me helping people, but like, I have a dream of like a world where like people are able to connect, people are able to be themselves and feel confident enough to socialize, and that people get out from behind their computers and phones, and that people actually truly, you know, connect with other people, because human connection is something that feels good. When we talk about negative emotions, when we talk about what makes us depressed, what makes us feel hopeless in life, I mean, like, feeling lonely is one of those things. Isolation is a killer in society, and I think that's something that we should be addressing. So anyway, I did say in my last video that I wanted to make more videos on this channel, and loneliness is one of these topics that I want to talk about a lot more. So what I would like from you guys in the comments is to just share your experience with feeling lonely or not having friends, and then perhaps how can we branch off here, and how can I, you know, make more videos? Like, what things would you like to hear me talk about specifically when it comes to loneliness? because I do plan on making several videos on this channel talking about the subject, just because it is a a major issue that I find to be really common, that I think people feel negatively about themselves because people think that something's wrong with them. Like, what's wrong with me because I have no friends? And the reality is, there's probably nothing wrong with you. You probably just never got around to making friends, or you never learned really how to connect or socialize with people. And I do think it's something that we can work on, and I hope that you understand that you can. And I encourage you to try to develop that ability to connect with people. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a video about loneliness, like ha ha ha, I'm lonely, like a nervous laughter kind of thing, like, because it's so common for people to like think that negative thought, like, man, I'm such a loser, I don't have any friends to hang out with, and it's easy to compare yourself to others and be jealous, but you're not alone. You're not alone in your feelings of loneliness, and it's okay to talk about it. So I want to make my channel a place where it's okay for people here to talk about it. You can talk about your loneliness on this channel in the comments if you would like, or at the very least, get some comfort in listening to somebody else talk about it. I've already made several videos on my channel talking about it from my perspective, but I will continue to do that more in the future. So anyway, with that being said, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, leave a like on the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.